Hi everyone, and welcome back to another sketchbook tour. I feel like my channel is just really becoming sketchbook tours, which I'm fine with, but it just means that there are obviously long gaps between me making videos, so yeah, sorry. But yeah, I guess, I'll just go right into it. This is hold on, I have it written, a Life Noble Note Plain. And it's actually a sketchbook that I got on my trip to Japan last year. I don't know if it's available anywhere else, I'm sure it probably is, but that's where I found it. And it's a nice little notebook actually. There are 100 sheets in it, but actually it ends up looking like a lot more. And it looks nice and full now. And I had like a lot of fun using it. The pages are actually quite thin, so you can see a lot of ghosting through it, but for some reason I really didn't mind it. Normally I hate when like anything kind of bleeds through or you can kind of see through pages, but I was really trying to not let myself get too wound up about it, so I really like this sketchbook and I'm really happy with how it came out. First things first, all of these stickers are pretentiously mine. These are all like original characters of mine, and I just drew them at some point in the sketchbook, you'll see, and I just thought they came out so cute that I just really quickly made myself some little makeshift stickers for myself. This is a sticker of my cat Dudley, or more correctly my parents' cat Dudley, and I have a little selection of stickers of him. I have another couple here as well. And if you like the look of them, or you think they're cute, or whatever, you think they might be nice for someone, I actually have them available on my Ko-fi shop. So I'll leave a link in the description if you want to have a look, and there are other bits and pieces as well that I'm selling there if you want to peruse at your leisure. But anyway, yeah, let's get into it. So this is just a nice little title thing that I did in my last sketchbook, and I liked the idea of it, so I'm going to continue with it, I think. So I started on the 17th of February and finished the 5th of June, which was yesterday. So 5 months thereabouts, which isn't too bad at all considering how big, I guess, or how many pages the sketchbook has. I had a phase where I was just like really working through it a lot, and I would do like, maybe 3, 4, 5 pages every day for, maybe a week or two. And I really got through a huge chunk of it in a short space of time. And then I got into a phase where I didn't want to draw at all, so the usual. But here I was just, I don't know if you saw my last sketchbook tour. At the end of my last sketchbook, I started drawing this cat, my parents' cat, Dudley, in this kind of cartoony style. So I just kind of carried that over. I carried on doing that. And I started doing some colour tests. I had an idea for a painting that I wanted to do. That was this one. And actually, that was what I painted at the end of my last sketchbook. So I had already started this one before I ended the last one. So that's kind of the little bit of crossover that was there. I wanted to carry that on. So I got some acrylic markers a while ago from ArtX. I did a video on that. So I was using them here and I was just playing around with some colours, primary colours mainly, and I really liked the look of this picture, so I actually also painted that recently. I was going to make a video of it and I did record some of it, but there was a point where I kind of stopped recording because I just forgot to. I got so into the painting that I forgot to record half of it, so that kind of went down the drain a little bit. Here's a photo of the result if you want to see. I also started really getting into drawing with my fountain pens, and I got like a few more in the last couple of months as well, so I started drawing with them kind of later on as well. This is probably my least favourite spread in the entire sketchbook, and it's good that it comes up so early because yeah, I enjoy the rest of it for the most part. Just a little silly doodle of Dudley, and then here I picked out some colours. Like I have a little book of colour palettes that I was referencing. So I drew my character Rune, who has appeared in many of my previous sketchbook tours as well. She gets drawn a lot in this one, just so you know. But yeah, I don't really like how that one came out. But then it's not terrible either. This page or this spread I really like. I just really like this green. It's a really lovely ink. And nothing really particular to talk about here. I actually do quite like that sketch of Rune as well. Just testing out more inks, how they work on the paper, testing how quickly they dry, how well ink and marker works on them afterwards. And yeah, I did this as well, and I don't like it, which is fine. More tests. I bought myself actually some really cheap fountain pens online. So I was just kind of testing them out, and because they were so cheap, obviously they took a long time to actually work. So I have like loads of scribbles up there where the ink is kind of struggling to come through, but eventually I got there. And these were the inks that they were converter cartridges, so I was able to put my own ink into them, and these were the colours that I chose. Yeah, I mean, the start of this sketchbook was really just kind of a lot of fiddling and testing materials, and also I didn't really know what to do or what to draw, so I just kind of played around a lot. Some of my Conine characters, which are like a little rabbit race, I guess. I like these little cartoons of myself. I kind of found a little style of drawing myself, and I really like it. So I kind of pop up sometimes looking like this. Oh yeah, so with this one, I did a reel on my Instagram where I was like, okay, I'm going to just get my black polychromos pencil and I am just going to draw without erasing. I'm not going to bother with planning it out or anything. I'm just going to go for it, draw what I want. And this was the result. And then I started this one and I was immediately like, oh, that's gross. So I stopped and then I drew this one, which was much cuter. But of course, then I wasn't recording. This was more of like a reminder to myself, because I don't know if you'd kind of notice, you can see what I'd done on the previous pages kind of bleeding through here and there. So this was really just kind of like me reminding myself, don't be precious, it's just a sketchbook, it's not important, like it's for fun. And I actually do think that mentality stuck with me for the rest of the sketchbook, and I'm actually going to be carrying it through into my following ones, because where, like I was saying before, I hated that kind of ghosting, but now I actually really don't care. I love this spread, actually. These colours were chosen by my fiance, and that's just what I did with that. And then these were referenced from photos I took from our trip to Japan last year. So really simple, really simplified, but I think they kind of work. They kind of capture like how sunny it was. Yeah, I'm happy with that. These were just kind of random doodles that I was doing. I was accompanying my partner to the eye clinic. So not conveniently, but appropriately, I did some blind drawings of him. And then did a couple of sketches just kind of while we were waiting. Same thing here, some more Dudleys. I also started playing Overwatch 2 earlier this year. I haven't played it for a while now, but I really fell in love with a couple of characters. I started playing with Widowmaker, and she's very tough but like really fun. And then I really liked this character, and his name has just completely escaped me. Oh my god. Bastion. Bastion. I don't know why I forgot that. But yeah, Bastion, he's my absolute favourite, and I love his origin skin with all of the like moss and grass, but like obviously I can't get it, so I just had to draw it. This was kind of a preparation for myself. It was more of like me reminding myself how to explain these construction lines, because I was getting ready to give a portrait workshop. Yeah, this was more of just like a reminder to myself, because like even though I feel fairly confident in like the information that I know, I don't feel particularly confident all the time in how I'm explaining it. So I like to just kind of be prepared and be like, okay, so this is how I'm going to explain this bit, and this is how I'm going to explain this bit. So it was more just kind of like a prep for how I was going to present the information. And some pansies, because I really like pansies. I know everyone kind of is drawing them at the moment, so I'm glad to see that they're becoming really popular. This was some collage I just felt like doing one day, and that's that. Really nothing to kind of explain about it. Some more messing around. These I referenced from Pinterest, and then I guess this is just like a little black mage character. Oh, that's what it was. I found this hat, this kind of pointy hat on Pinterest as well, and then the rest of the character kind of came along with it as I was drawing it. So yeah, that's where he came from. I don't know why, but I really just like the simplicity of this. I liked the gradient between the red and the green inks, and I really wanted to do something with that. But yeah, I just kind of cut these little shapes out, and then when I put it on the page, I kind of thought on their own they looked well, so I left it at that. And yeah, some more pansy collages. I just really got into the collage, the flower collage for a little bit, and but then that kind of goes away fairly fast. This one, I liked it as I was doing it. Some of the raindrops are just coloured paper that I was cutting out. But now kind of looking at it, I don't know, I'm not as keen on it now anymore. This one I find is really simple, but really fun, I think. I think I ate an orange that day, and I was like, I happened to have all of my like papers next to me with that kind of luminous neon pink and orange. So I was like, sure, I'll make a collage of my orange peel. And then I said, Kraken a Roshta. Kraken, obviously, being like, that was a good orange, but also Kraken in Irish is skin. So yeah, orange skin, and it was also a good orange. And some more Dudleys. This one is a collage as well, and I think it's really cute. I also made this one into a sticker. Oh, there's another one. I think that was like a dud print, so I just stuck him in there. These were preparations for a commission that I did recently. That was a nice one to do. This page I hate. I don't really know what my plan for it was. I think as I was doing it, I liked it. And then immediately after I'd finished, I was like, this is absolute shite. Why did I do this? But it's there now. These I love though. This was just leftover paint that I had used for something else, and then I just kind of splashed it into my sketchbook because I liked the colours together, and then I just doodled some plants on top, and I think it's really cute. So yeah, I was trying to draw Rune this day as well, and for some reason I just couldn't. Any which way I drew her, she looked really weird, so I very quickly gave up and I drew some more pansies. I think this was the next day? I'm not sure, but actually around this time as well I started getting really obsessed with like fluorescent colours, and I know I have been in the past, but this time it was really intense and I wanted to use them like in absolutely everything that I did. This is Logan, he's another character, I have also drawn him before, and I hadn't drawn him in a while, so I thought to have a good spread of expressions with him would be fun. And he's such a colourful character as well that I wanted to do some kind of Andy Warhol style type thing, I don't know. Oh, here I had like a fluorescent pink gel pen, which I really, really love how it looks. And this is me again. I really like my Chelsea boots, so I wanted to emphasize that. And another little black mage guy, who is also really cute. Logan and Rune, also done with some of the fluorescent Posca markers that I got, and I just thought it would be cool to use the colours like as kind of flipped or alternated. I don't know what this is. I think I referenced this, did I? No, actually I don't think I did. Nope, I don't think I did. This I love. I love these two pages together. I really like how it turned out. Like, this is a nothing page, really. It was just me messing around. But this one I love. This one I also love, of my characters in this kind of really weird Chibi-esque kind of style, I guess. It reminds me a little bit of kind of like Peanuts, you know, the comic. They're really cute. And it's such an easy kind of style to draw as well. And I was like, it's nice to draw something kind of cute and cartoony and simple that I can just kind of bang out a few of them in, you know, a few characters and kind of like doing things that they would be doing normally rather than always kind of agonizing over the proportion or how accurate it looks. And here, I don't know why, but I had it in my head of like, I have never really drawn like anime style, really. Like I know a lot of people go through their phase where they draw like from manga or anime, and I never really had that. Maybe a little bit from Pokemon, but that was kind of the extent of it. I started kind of more with Disney styles and stuff, so I kind of skipped over that phase that a lot of people go through. So I tried drawing it, and it was awful, and I immediately gave up. This was a photo of a guy on Pinterest, and I just thought it was really funny because it was like one photo was of him looking really deadpan and serious, and then the next one he had like these really big eyes, and I was like, that's such a fun little contrast. So I just wanted to draw that out. And then these are just some Pokemon drawings from old sprites. It didn't really work. I can't remember what pen I was using, but I had like the Liquitex acrylic ink down before I drew on it, and it has this kind of shiny texture when it's dry, so the black pen didn't really stick to it, so that just kind of gives it a bit of a weird look, but it also kind of makes it look like it's printed as well, which is kind of cool. Oh, these are the what are they called, the Arteza like twi marker things, twi marker, I'm not really sure, but I saw Apple Cheeks using these on her video, and I was like, wow, the colours look great. So I ordered myself a few, and that was the testing. And then I made myself a little kind of colour sheet, which was really fun to do and very useful actually. So here I was drawing lots of rune, a lot more in that kind of chibi style. That's where this kind of cheat sheet kind of came in handy, because I didn't have the colour for her hair, so I was able to grab it from this, and yeah, I was able to make it out of kind of like a chartreuse green and like a hot pink, which I thought was really interesting, and still not exactly the right colour, but it's pretty good. And I think just kind of like with the style, there's something kind of slightly vintage about it. I'm not really sure, but I really like it. This is another character from like this kind of original character world, I guess. She's a classmate of Rune's, and she's kind of like the bully character, but she's really, really fun to draw. Yeah, more Chibi OCs, I guess. The lads though, and Logan. I think underneath this I had actually written chill. Then I kind of thought afterwards like, oh, easy breezy would just be kind of more suitable, so I kind of cut this little strip out from the last page in the book and stuck it in. But on this page you can kind of see that it says like chill. These were just kind of practices of Rune running, because I imagine in the comic, if I eventually ever do it, there will be like quite a lot of scenes of her running. And this was another attempt at like an anime-ish style, and I also hated it. So that was actually one of the positive things, or where the ghosting came in useful, was I was able to trace what I had done again, and it turned out much better. These were all referenced from Pinterest. This was kind of like a design exploration, like I already kind of know what she looks like, but this is the mother to Reese, this character. I hadn't really drawn him or his family in a while, so I thought I'd better kind of solidify their designs a little bit. So this is his mother, Mallory. For a long time she had kind of had this look with the kind of shoulder length hair, and I felt it was just a bit boring, so I wanted to kind of change it up a little bit, and then I didn't. She actually ended up with the same hairstyle, but I feel like I have a more solid kind of idea of what she looks like. This is Reese's sister, Parley, and his dad, Austin. Parley was like a character that I always really, really liked drawing, but she's supposed to be like 5 years old. But whenever I drew her, she always looked much younger, like maybe around 3. So I had to rectify that. And I think she looks more like she's 5 here. But she's so cute. And she's had like the same outfit in my head for years. So I also gave her a little bit of an update, and she has like a really cute little outfit now. And then I drew a kind of like a little family dynamic thing. Reese obviously being very isolated because he's a bit of a moody teenager. There is a whole kind of a normal, well, not a normal, but there is a bit of a reasonable dynamic for why he's so kind of like aloof from the rest of his family. These 3 are much closer together than they are with him. He loves his sister. His parents are a little bit like about him. Sorry, that was my phone. But yeah, like if I ever actually get around to doing this comic, and I don't know, I keep talking about it, I keep mentioning it, and I keep wanting to do it, but I just can't like make myself start. I don't know why. It's very frustrating. This would be another character from the comic as well. This would be the mother of Logan, who is this guy. And this was supposed to be a shadow, but it ended up looking like she was just trying to balance on a ball. So yeah, it's hiding something else which wasn't as good, but it still looked bad. And these are just from Pinterest. I made a video on this. These were just some new materials that I bought and I wanted to test out. And then they were Neocolor pastels, Neocolor 2s. And then I just kind of did this with them, which I think is cute, but like that's one of the things about pastels that always kind of annoys me, is just they're so messy and they always transfer. And I know I could put some tissue paper between the pages, but like, you know, in the moment I cannot be bothered. And then I drew these as well in one of my videos. This was another kind of practice pose for this really specific image I have in my mind of how Rune is introduced in the comic, where it's kind of like she's waking up in the morning, she sits up and is still really groggy and then immediately falls back asleep. But it's that really particular pose of like sitting up at the side of the bed and then just like completely flopping back over asleep. And I couldn't do it. I was having so much trouble. So I gave up on that. Drew some flowers, and then I found all of these on Pinterest as well, but like I have this kind of board that I've set up for myself now of images that represent or like inspire me and like the atmosphere of the town that they live in. So it's supposed to be very kind of like quiet town, very normal, I guess. I don't really have another kind of term for it, but there's a lot of like countryside. But you see, that's the thing as well, is that in my mind, these characters all live in America, so I'm obviously having to reference a lot of American towns and the countryside and rural kind of areas, and trying to mix them all in a way that makes sense for the idea that I'm envisioning, but so that it still looks kind of realistic as well. I don't know. This is not really something that I'm very good with anyway, so I do have a lot of trouble with it, but I still like how the spread came out. This day I think I had no idea what I wanted to draw, so I did that thing where you just blob on some colours and then try to see something in them and draw it. A couple turned out fine. This one gave me the biggest trouble, and it just ended up being like a big shoe then. But I really like her, and actually she's good too. Yeah. Some are very awkward looking, but... Oh yeah, okay, so here I was also exploring the designs of Rune's family. Her father, particularly Diederik, he's Dutch, or of Dutch descent anyway. So I was kind of looking up little Dutch phrases that I could use in the comic as well, just like casual little things that he could just kind of throw out. And I loved Helaas Pindakaas. I thought that was really cute, like too bad, peanut butter. I think that's really cute. And then her brother Rudy, and then her mother is Caroline. And I had these ideas for, like, Rudy has these sleeve tattoos, but I am absolutely atrocious at designing tattoos. So this was my really feeble attempt, and it's awful, and I hate it. This was another practice of that like pose idea that I had for Rune as well, where she's like flopping over in her bed, and it didn't work. Oh, here I bought some more fountain pens. So I had a red ink and a blue ink. This was around the time where I think Megan Wang had like discovered that fountain pen. I already can't remember the name of it. The Lamy Safari, and then everybody started getting them, and I kind of held out, but I succumbed eventually, and here were my practices with it. This is actually like a family friend who came over for dinner one night, and like I hadn't seen him in years, so I wanted to go and, you know, take part in the dinner with my parents and everything. And it was just really nice meeting him again. He's such an interesting man, and I was like, he'd be such an interesting character design. So that's kind of how he turned out. And then it led me into drawing more little portraits of like the teachers in the school that like Rune and the others go to. So yeah, here we're kind of like, I think these are the 4 main teachers who would probably appear in the comic in relation to the classes that Rune takes. Because again, that's the thing in my mind, even though the whole thing is set in America, I obviously have no experience of like the American school system, so I'm still going to incorporate the Irish school system and what I know of it into this. I mean, like, it's a fictional town anyway, fictional setting, so it doesn't really matter. I'm like very kind of like, I'm going to do what I want in it, and I'm going to put what I know in it. So I don't know if it's the same in America, but you know, you have your, I guess your electives they'd be called. So these would be the ones that Rune has: art, home ec, biology, and French. And then the Spanish teacher is only because a couple of the other characters would be doing Spanish, and sometimes I would be focusing on them, and maybe they're in Spanish, I don't know. Here I was testing out the red ink from one of the new pens that I got. It started out coming kind of green, and then it did improve then, but didn't really know what to draw at that time, so I ended up just doing some doodles of Final Fantasy characters. So yeah, I was just practicing more about, you know, just like houses, housing styles, the street kind of style, school, everything, kind of just to try and solidify the kind of the mood of the hometown that all of these characters come from. But you can probably tell, like, drawing buildings is really not my forte, so I do have a lot of trouble with it, and backgrounds and things, environmental design is going to be really hard, I think. I did like a little Irish version here as well. Unpust, unpub, and unshuppa. I think it's really cute. But anyway, that's not going to be there. They're not going to have Irish there, but yeah, I mean, like, I did have fun drawing these out, but like I say, it's really one of the parts that I'm looking forward to the least. Here I just wanted to play with those markers, the Arteza ones, just to get like a bunch of the colours that I really liked out and put them together, and that was that, with some cute little ladybird. There was really no thought behind it other than to use some nice colours and to do something pretty and cute. These guys became a kind of a more elaborate design. I had an image saved on Pinterest for God knows how long, but it kind of looked like this. It was like somebody wearing a robe, or maybe it was a mannequin wearing some kind of robe, and this headdress that had like this really distinct butterfly shape. And I was kind of like looking at it for ages, being like, that would be a really good character design for something, but I don't know what. And then just recently I was looking at it again, and I was like, I just like that idea of these like human-like figures that don't have like faces, but they have literal butterflies as faces, and they have like their head, like, okay, hold on, they kind of look like this. They have like the back of the head is human-like, but then the front, I didn't even draw it very well here, but the front is just literally a butterfly. Now, like, physiologically, don't ask me how it would work. I don't really care. I just thought the concept was really cool. And I had all of these like ideas for their names and stuff, and I settled on the Hap She, which I think is really cool because she obviously is like Irish for like fairy or fairy kind, And then the hap was kind of like happenstance, so it's kind of like they're supposed to represent luck and good fortune, happiness, all of that kind of stuff. So it's like hap is like, I think it is luck as well. Look up the definition, it works. I can't remember. I'm not sure what I was doing here. I had like a bit of a drawing date with my sister. So this is kind of what I did from that. I was trying that kind of technique of using like luminous red paint on the background and then painting above it, and it's fine. I don't love it, but it's fine. So I drew my sister instead and a couple of Dudleys. This is also around the time where I started playing Baldur's Gate 3, and I love it to bits, and I love Raphael. He's my absolute favourite. Then Halcyon is my second. Halcyon is an absolute dote, so yeah. And then this is my character, Quasar. She's a wood elf, and she is like extremely suspicious of absolutely everything. It's such a good game. It's really, really good. I love it. Oh yeah, more Hapshi explorations. Oh, I was having another kind of couple of days where I didn't really know what to draw. So yeah, collage of this vase of flowers, of tulips. And here I really didn't know what to draw. So one thing I never really do is just mindlessly doodle. Just random lines and shapes and stuff. So I guess I kind of just tried that out this time. It's fine. More rune in this kind of chibi-esque style. I don't even really know if you'd call it chibi. I don't know what else to call it, but I really like this one. I referenced from a photo of just her eating some ramen. These are referenced from Pinterest, and I think I just used a brush marker. Again, I didn't really know what to draw, so a good kind of fallback for me is just random portraits. And to be loose with them, not to worry too much about likeness. Oh yeah, so these are two of the characters I made in Baldur's Gate. She's my main one, Quasar. And then I have Heeeelloooooo. She's like a remake of a really old character that I had on an MMO from years ago called Terra Online. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. So I've made her a tiefling in this one, and she is a cleric. I always see people doing these kind of patterns in their sketchbooks, so I tried it and I immediately got bored, so I gave up and I did this instead. Oh no, I did this one first actually. I don't know why, I skipped this page and I did this one. Yeah, anyway, whatever. So I just felt like doing something really sunny. I think that day it had been really sunny here, and I just felt like capturing that feeling of brightness and warmth, and yeah, it's cute. More Pinterest references. This is Rune's friend May, who dies, and it's also part of the story. And then a really, I don't know, glum looking Rune as well. I love this spread. I think it's just because the colours work so well together. But we have some Dudleys and another Rune with some of my Hapshi. They are not from the same universe or world at all. I don't know. I just thought it was a cute idea to have them interacting. This was referenced from a photo that I took on my birthday back in May, where my partner had prepared a really sweet little breakfast outside. It was nice and sunny, and we had baguette and Nutella and coffee. It was just really nice. Oh, actually, this page I had a lot of fun doing. It's just stuff in Rune's bag, and I've seen loads of people doing it about like what's in their bag, and then I had also seen a couple of people doing it for their original characters, so I thought, sure, I'll do that. And it makes for a really cute page. It actually looked really kind of random until I put these little leafy things in. I just kind of tied the two pages together. Small little things like that can make a big difference. Oh, I actually quite like this spread as well. Me again. And this was referenced from a photo I took of just like some nice like stone steps, and then there was like loads of vegetation around it. Lots of ivy and nasturtium flowers and all kinds, and I just really liked that. This was also referenced from a photo I took a while ago, but it was on my phone and I liked it, and yeah, it's transferred a little bit over here, which is a shame. I used the Neo Color 2s for this. This is a spread. I actually really like it. I bought myself a book recently as well of like plants that grow in Ireland that aren't necessarily specific to, but how they're relevant to Irish like mythology and folklore and all of those kinds of things, how they relate to the zodiac and medicinal uses, all of those kinds of things. I just thought it was it would be a really useful book to have, and I just really like that sort of thing. So I got it and I drew some plants from it. I don't really like this page. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, another thing I've got addicted to is natto. I was trying to find it for ages because, again, after our trip from Japan last year, I had tried it and I really, really liked it. And I was really sad that it was something that it's not available, especially around where I live. So I had been trying to find it online and then it was really difficult, and obviously it needs to be eaten relatively fresh. Long story short, I actually found a little Asian shop in our town, and they sell like a whole variety of things, and I went in being like, oh, I'm just gonna have a look, and my fiance was kind of like, I'll ask the owner there if they have it, and they did, and it was tucked all the way at the back in a freezer that I wouldn't have found, and he was like, oh, we have it all the time. So now I have my source of natto and I'm so happy. It's really, really good actually, and I'm glad. It's supposed to be really good for you as well, so that's a major kind of aspect to it as well. These were all drawings as well from another drawing date I had with my sister. We met up in town and we had like coffee and stuff, so I was drawing people. Initially I was drawing them from photos, so I was a little bit more precise about how I was drawing them, and then I ended up just trying to draw them as they were walking like by the window. So it's a lot more scribbly, but actually some of them came out quite well, I think. And yeah, more little characters. I have these guys as stickers as well, also in my Ko-fi shop. They're really cute. Not this guy, he's new. I don't have a name for him though. More rune and some flowers. That's all. And some more flowers done with the Arteza markers, and then I shaded them with the polychromos. I've seen other people do that kind of effect, and I think it looks really good, so I was just messing around. I was watching something on television and this was more of like a mindless thing. Oh, here I was messing around as well with my new fountain pens, and I got myself some new inks as well, so like a really nice cyan blue. This is supposed to be turquoise. It ended up more of like an emerald green, which is fine, but I really, really wanted the turquoise. So yeah, it's still quite nice. A very serious looking rune. I dreamt about onigiri last night and now I really want some. I guess so I just drew some onigiri. Also, I can't stop eating natto. That is still very true. And then I started drawing cats. I also have a fantasy race called the Heeeelloooooo, which are like cat people. And I started kind of drawing some of them out, I guess. This was drawn by my partner. It's excellent, so I had to like stick it in. Little scene between Rune's dad and brother, which I thought was cute. And then I went back to drawing some Konin. I really, really like how this one came out. These are more of my Heeeelloooooo. I have this kind of idea that there would be like the big cat ones, like the tigers, lions, caracals, pumas, all of them. They would be kind of like more living in nature and being more spiritual and not being consumed by, I guess, modernities, I suppose. Whereas like the cats that look like domesticated cats would be the ones that live in the cities, who integrate with like the humans and the other races, who become very like vain. That's kind of like my design on them. They would become much more like involved in like riches, wealth. They would care a lot more about it than the big cat Heeeelloooooo, who would like live out and be a lot more in tune with nature and themselves. They'd be a lot more like the Konin. They would probably work together in certain ways because the Konin are only from like the woods. They only like live in harmony with nature. If they ever do integrate with humans, it's always to help them nurture their like farmlands or to teach them how to eat sustainably, to grow food, to all of that kind of stuff. So they're very much kind of more nature-based, and yeah, I love them. I love them all. Oh, and then I have my Black Mage concepts as well. I have like a book on fashion through the ages and stuff, so I think a lot of this was bits and pieces taken from like Persian, Byzantine, I can't even remember what else. A lot of Eastern cultures anyway, which I think looks really, really beautiful and is like a nice kind of a slightly different way of reimagining the Black Mages, I suppose. But having said that, I still also really like their kind of traditional Final Fantasy look as well. So I think I kind of settled on trying to mix the two a little bit. I really like this guy. One thing I also kind of realised recently was how little I actually know about like anatomy and muscles, the skeletal structure. We were never taught any of it when we were in college, when I was in college. So I like can't get my head around it. So I'm pretty determined at the moment to kind of teach myself and to kind of catch up on everything that I missed. But I was trying on my own, I think, referencing from Pinterest, and I just couldn't get it. So I immediately gave up and went back into my comfort zone, which is like rune and expressions and stuff. These were all referenced from a book called Facial Expressions by Simon something, I can't remember. But yeah, some worked out better than others. She ends up not really looking like herself a lot of the time when I do this, but it's just for fun. So here are some of my skeletal practices. Like that's the thing, it's kind of like I can roughly sketch the idea of them out, but I don't really understand how they work together or how they like fit in with each other. So it's just kind of a bit vague. I mean, I guess for what I do, it being vague is fairly okay, but I still kind of want to be able to understand it a bit. Trying the muscles here, and I just can't do it. I've ordered some books for myself on like anatomy and musculature, so hopefully once they arrive, they'll help. Some life drawing practice. I should have written down where I was doing this from. I think it was sketchdaily.com, I think. Again, as part of the whole kind of like learning how to draw people properly, because when I was in college, life drawing was available, but only on a first come, first served basis. If you didn't get in, which I didn't, then for the 4 years you basically couldn't do life drawing. There were extracurricular classes sometimes they were organised, but you know, they were often in the evenings, and by then you're already like super tired. But even then, it would have just been like, okay, draw the person now. There wasn't any instruction on like, these muscles look like this because this is happening, or this is how the skeleton is looking right now, or you know, there was none of that. So I feel kind of like a bit ripped off from it, to be honest. I'm trying to rectify it myself now. These are some exploration drawings of Rune's mother, Caroline. This was the first one that I drew, but her eyes ended up being really high. I think she still looks fine, but yeah, I kind of made her look a little bit more proportionate with her husband, and I think it's actually a really cute page, you know, just the interaction. I was drawing her here and was kind of like, for some reason, even though she's not a horrible person at all, but I always end up drawing her looking a little bit like angry about something, but she's actually a nice woman. So I was like, I should draw her being a little bit more tender, you know, looking after Rune or kissing her husband or all of that. So that's what that came from. This is a character from a comic by Sazkus, who is a friend, and she's doing a Nuzlocke comic. She started one fairly recently, and this is just the main character, Saz, and her Cyndaquil. So I just thought I wanted to do a little doodle of them. She was streaming the other day, and I was trying to draw something as I watched, so that's kind of what happened. That's what came out of it. And on to the last page-ish, more references from Pinterest. And then I finish on Raphael from Baldur's Gate. Because as I was talking with Saz actually, and I was like, oh, I'm nearly finished my sketchbook. I don't know what I'm going to draw on the last page. So she was the one who suggested I draw Raphael, and then very aptly quoted the "Down comes the cloth thing that he says, and I was like, actually that is quite appropriate, because that just means the end anyway. Like, you're dead, it's the end of the sketchbook, down comes the claw. Okay, there we go. He's really hard to draw, but whatever, it's the end of the sketchbook and I'm done with it now, and that's it. That's the end of the sketchbook tour. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry it was so long, but in a way maybe that's good too, I don't know. I wish you a good evening or afternoon or morning. If you like the look of my sketchbook, if you like what I do and you want to support me, then you can sign up as a monthly supporter on my Ko-fi. Pretty much every week, unless something comes up, you get a first-hand peek into my sketchbook of like everything that I've drawn for the week, or anything else if I'm on my iPad or whatever. But yeah, pretty much every week my Ko-fi supporters, monthly Ko-fi supporters, will see what I've been doing for the week. So if that is of interest, feel free to head over and have a look. Other than that, I have like prints and stickers and stuff there as well, so please consider supporting an independent artist. And anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!